established,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
we're working hard to keep Fort Worth clean.
Oh,
There
And
you
that's
go.
good.
There you
I,
go.
I saw the notification. I got an email notification about this event yesterday, and I thought I'd check it out. Might be something I'd be interested in. Definitely something I could learn from.
Oh, that's great. Um, Now I'm gonna give you a whole lot of tools today. Just don't be overwhelmed. You want to pick one or two.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a whole lot of tools. However, I tell people all of the time, you have to do something more than social media. It
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
just be social media. It has to be another tool, one or two other tools, because people are like, "Oh, I'm posting," and I'm telling them you can't just use social media. But you'll see that in the workshop.
Okay. All right. I have a meeting scheduled with my small business advisor at 11 o'clock, so I may have to leave a little early.
Okay, it'll end around 10 to 11 or 11, and then we
Okay.
have Q&A.
Okay.
So, John, are you meeting with advisors at Tarrant County SBDC?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Who's your advisor?
Um, Isaiah Blakely is my
Okay,
financial advisor, and Catherine Pena is my marketing advisor. I'm meeting with
wonderful,
Isaiah this morning.
wonderful. Well, you are in excellent hands.
I'll pass that on.
Yes, very good.
Well, Lori, I'm so happy to see you. We rarely get to have you grace us with your presence.
I'm on the go here and there, and it's nice to. So, what does I tell them? I don't admit this out loud, but you come back to work to rest, right? We'll actually just get to sit in one place, so that's nice. But it's great to see you as well.
Let me see if I can share. Can you see? Oh, okay. Paula, you have to give me sharing privileges.
Okay, try that.
Okay. Can you see the my show?
Yes.
I'm gonna put it. Okay. Everybody can see the show.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now. Because I know you I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay. Because I know you guys have an introduction slide for your company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah. So I'll stop sharing.
Well, it's right at 10 o'clock. So to be considerate of everyone's time, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Paula McCain, and I'm a recovery business advisor here at the North Central Texas Small Business Development Center. We are a leading provider of assistance for small businesses. I'm not sure if you realized, but today is National French Fry Day. And it's also Cow Appreciation Day. Pick one to celebrate. The SBDC is grant funded, and because of that, we are able to offer you webinars such as today's at no cost. Today's webinar is from Marsha Hudson and is entitled Using Online Tools to Enhance the Customer Experiences. So throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to put them into chat, and we will address those as they come up. And I'd like to introduce Marsha Hudson. She is a social media branding specialist. She's been working with the University of Houston SBDC since 2015, teaching social media and digital marketing. She's a professor of English at Wharton County Junior College in Sugar Land. She received the Education Specialist degree from Walden University and attended Sam Houston State University and University of Houston. She's a professional photographer with her husband, specializing in branding, headshots, lifestyle, and real estate photography. Marcia, welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. As always, I'm so excited to be here today to share with you guys so much information that you're going to be able to take back to your business to brand and grow your business. So I hope that you are ready. I hope that you are excited. I hope you have a pen and paper. And because I have so much to give to you today. I love this topic, using digital tools to enhance the customer experience, because in my own business, these tools have helped me to grow and brand and do so much. So I'm hoping that this will happen for you. As always, we like to thank the North Central Texas Small Business Center for having me. I thank you guys so much. And I know they have lots of great presenters. So be sure and check out their website so you can be sure and check out the other presenters. And I'm so happy that they do bring this information to us, no charge, to help us build and brand and grow our business. So I always like to start with a saying from someone that I admire. There are a lot of people, but here's one today from Oprah Winfrey that I really like, and it says, "Don't worry about being successful, but work toward being significant." And when you're significant, the success will come. So yes, we want to be successful, but we don't really have to worry about, am I going to be successful? If you're significant and you're adding value and you're helping people with your product and solving their problems, you will get the success. And so what if you walked away today with what if you walked away today with one new tool to add to grow your business? And I tell people, I give you a lot of information, but what if you walked away with one new tool in the next 50 minutes? Or what if you got one idea from the training today to take your business to a new level? What if you decided that it's today, not one day? I've been working with quite a bit of business owners for over a year inside, in front of our computers virtually, and I can't believe we're halfway through the year. And I tell people, we can't keep putting things off. We have to decide today to move our business to a new level. So get ready, because you're going to learn how to turn the page today on your business and move it to the next level. So as you know, I'm a professor of writing, and I believe in taking notes, grabbing a pen, turning off those distractions, because you're going to have so much to think about today to add to your business. So I hope you stay to the end for Q&A. We have free resources at the end. Of course, you can put your questions in the chat box, and we will answer those at the end. We love Q&A, so hopefully you can stay with us. And so I like what Jim Rohn says. He says success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And my thing is not to overwhelm yourself, not to fill your to-do list with so much, but just a few simple disciplines practiced every day will bring about success. So today, our main focus is success. And if we take small things, 20 minutes to dealing with your business today, every day, 20 minutes, whether it's watching a video, watching a YouTube video, something in your industry, or reading a blog, or coming to a webinar, something small each day. That's what brings about success. We don't need to be overwhelmed. We just need to be consistent. So yes, I am Marsha Lynn Hudson. I love teaching social media and branding. And I am a strategist. I help people with strategies. I help people with plans on how to get moving with this a new culture that we in. And I am a specialist for the SBDC. I've been at Wharton County Junior College for 20 years now. I can't believe it. I've been teaching English there for 20 years. And I also started off as a photographer straight out of college. But, you know, life kind of went in some other direction. So I started teaching social media to photographers. And it just kind of took off. And I love blogging, podcasting. I have a YouTube channel. I do help business owners develop a website if they need a website, and just all things business that I really enjoy doing to help business owners. So my mission is about helping entrepreneurs develop an action plan and a strategy to build a brand online without being overwhelmed and confused. Who wants to be overwhelmed and who wants to be confused? Nobody. So if you're listening today to this training, I always say write a mission statement down and let that mission statement guide everything you do. And your mission statement should always be about who you help, how you help, what you do to help with your products, make someone's life better, easier. It's always about that. So I tell people, write down one mission statement on what you do to make your customers' lives better, make them help them with their lives so they can get your product. That's a good thing to do today before the day is out. And so you figure that out by realizing what is it that I've been doing with my business or my products or my services that's really been helping people. And that's how you come up with your mission statement. And for me, I see that people want plans and they want a strategy and they don't want to be confused. And that's how I came up with my mission statement. So I challenge you to make one. So what are we going to learn today? So today we're going to define our customer, because before we can move forward with tools that enhance our customers' experience, we need to know who our customers are. And so we're going to look at who our customer is, who is our ideal client. And then we're going to go over a blueprint for what happens when a customer encounters you, okay? And the 4-step customer journey. And I will tell you this 4-step works. And we can't skip a step. We're going to go over it, but they work. We're going to look at a few digital tools besides social media, like email, podcast, blogging. And you may decide to look further into one of these tools to add to your business. And we're going to talk about how to schedule these tools for you, the busy entrepreneur, because you might say, well, Marcia, okay, we're going to do all of this. How do I get it into my busy schedule? And we're going to talk about that. Now, we have to build relationships through groups, and we can't just post online. We have to build relationships, and we'll talk about that. And then I have 2 strategies that I've come up with, the 2-2-20 strategy and the 3-3-30 strategy. And we will talk about that at the end. So what is the definition of a customer? And I looked it up on Google and I looked it up in a few places, and I like this one definition. That's a person or organization that buys goods and services from a business. Okay. So I think we all know about that. So who is your client and where is she or where is he? Well, these are the places that our clients are today. They are on social media. And we have so many social media platforms that I say all of the time, if you've been following me, you do not need to be on every channel, but you need to know how to work them correctly. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have LinkedIn, you have Twitter, you have Pinterest. Now we got Clubhouse and TikTok. You don't have to jump on every bandwagon. You can pick 1 or 2 and really go all in on those 1 or 2. But you want to do that correctly, because so many changes have been made, even with Facebook. And people say, well, I'm on Facebook. I set up a Facebook channel. I posted to Facebook. Well, it's changed. Facebook rarely lets people see unless you're doing it the way they want you to do it now. Online groups are great. These are community that you can show up in. You can join 1 or 2 Facebook groups and show up and post and be active in the group, even if it's once a week. People are watching videos. I cannot stress this enough. I cannot. And we're going to talk about it a little at the end. And people are like, oh, Marcia, I hate being on video. I don't like video. Well, you can do videos where you don't even show your face, or you can do 1-2 minute videos where you do show your face, but you show up and be significant, like we talked about in the beginning. But video is the way to go now if you really, really, really want to build your business and get customers. Whether you're doing videos for Facebook or Facebook Live or videos for Instagram, or they can be short 2-minute videos with your phone. Pick up that phone, get in front of it, and make a short video. You're going to see a huge difference. Even Instagram announced that last week that they are no longer a photo app sharing. They're no longer a photo sharing app. They are really going over into videos. So people are waiting to discover you. So will they? Are you showing up on these places? So you have to know your ideal client. For me, I took some time at the beginning of the year and I'm like, okay, who is my client? Because I can't get on a social media platform if I don't know my client, or I can't do a podcast or a YouTube video, something I want, if I don't know my client. Everybody is not your client. That's the first thing. Every influencer and social media influencer webinar that I've taken, because just as I love to give webinars, I love to take them, listen and learn. And everybody says everybody is not your customer. When you're trying to please everybody or be something to everybody, then you're just gonna be, lost in this sea. So you have to figure out who is your ideal client. What's their gender? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Of course, men and women may patronize you, but your ideal client is the person who buys from you, the person who contacts you, the person who you enjoy working with, the person who you've been having great business with over the years. Those are your ideal clients. So it may be a woman, and she may be of a certain age group or income level, because if the client cannot afford your services, then they're not your client. And that's okay, because sometimes people are on a budget or they're not at a place where they can afford your services, and that's okay, because we all had to start somewhere. But you have to find the people who can afford your services, and what are their behaviors, what do they do, what do they like. So you have to sit down and write this down. And I figured this out for myself from my last 8 months of really working with clients. My ideal client, the client who needs my services, who wants my services, who are serious about my services, who can afford my services. I love helping them. I figured out it's a woman. I love you guys. I do love my guy, but this is just happens to be my biggest client. It's a woman. She is 40 plus, and you're 40, 50, 60. I mean, really. And she's wanting to learn what to do. Of course, I have some 35, but I don't have a client that's 20, 25. I rarely have that. The income level, they make a certain amount of money, because they know it, you have to pay a little money to get a private specialist. And their behaviors are, they are serious about business. They want to learn how to take their business to a new level. They're serious about educating themselves. And so I figured out, okay, this is my ideal client. However, they're having a hard time trying to get into this space because they're confused and overwhelmed. And that's what helped me come up with my mission statement. So you have to write this down and figure out, where do they hang out. I also figured out my client hangs out on Instagram and I really love Instagram, and Instagram has changed so much. It used to be, younger people putting photos or dancing, but Instagram has really changed. And so I figured out they hang out on Instagram, they hang out on LinkedIn. They like Facebook groups, they like a podcast. So you want to write that down. So here's the blueprint. So the customer, that's the person who needs and wants your services. So you have to figure that out. The digital tools, as we go on in the training, you will see that in a few minutes. What will you use for them to find you? And you cannot just use social media alone, but you do need to use social media. The experience, what will your product or your service solve for them? What's the problem or the challenge that you can end for them with your product? Every product can end a problem. If I am having pests in my house and it's hot here and I see a little pest every now and then, I'm going to call the pest control people. When they come out and exterminate, they have ended a problem for me. So every company, every industry has something that they can end a problem or a challenge. The SBDC today, they are giving us an experience where they are ending problems and challenges for us through offering these types of programs. So know your what your product would do and offer that experience, and your brand, what they say about you when you are not around, right? So people want to say, wow, that company did a great job. And they want to tell other people, wow, this consultant was great. She did a great job. She came in and she helped us with our company or whatever. So your brand is not just your colors or your logo. Your brand is what people say about you. And the person who really got this down was Steve Jobs. He branded Apple. And it's not about that very expensive phone that I love myself. I buy that iPhone every time a new one comes out. It's the brand. Yeah, I mean, it's what people are saying about it. And so you have to make sure that the customer is the person who needs your services. You're going to decide today a digital tool. What kind of experience are you going to give? And what kind of brand voice do you want to have? So, how do we turn lookers into bookers? Because likes and comments are nice, but they will not bring money to the bank. Okay. Lookers and liking, it's nice. There's a funnel. And this funnel works. There's a funnel that a potential buyer or customer goes through before they actually become a customer. And if we want to turn the lookers, the followers, the subscribers into customers, we have to go through the funnel. And we can't skip any steps. And I teach this quite a bit. I studied this extensively, this funnel. And I realize it's true because I go through it myself before I buy something or hire a contractor. And so once we get to the end of the funnel, we build relationships. This is where people become loyal customers. They purchase from you, and then they become your ambassadors. They tell other people about you. And people may text somebody or call somebody and say, hey, do you know of a particular company or business for X, Y, and Z? And then people will refer you and tell others about you. So this funnel that we're getting ready to look at, be sure and make sure you have those distractions off and really pay attention to this 4-step customer funnel. And so this is the journey that people go through before they buy. Now, if somebody gives word of mouth, that's really a good way. Sometimes they don't go through this journey if it's word of mouth. We just take the word for somebody we trust. But what about new people or cold audiences or people who've never encountered you? So first thing they have to do at the beginning of the funnel is the awareness. They have to discover you. That's either through social media, through a blog, through email, through a podcast, through videos, through networking, something. They have to discover you. Awareness. Become aware. Secondly, they have to be interested. So if you're at a networking function, a live networking function, and you see someone across the room, you walk over, you introduce yourself, your content or what you say has to be interesting for them to even continue on. But if you walk across the room and you say, hi, I'm Marsha Lynn Hudson, I'm a social media person, what do you do? That's kind of not a good way to start it. You want to just start a conversation. Sometimes we want to hop into sales, and that's a turnoff for people. People think, oh, they just want to sell me something, and you don't want that. So we're going to talk about that. Your content has to be interesting, whether it's email content or a blog or an article or social media. The third step is decision. Now they've become aware of you. They like what you're posting. They like your content. They like what you're putting on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter. They like it. So now they're in a decision phase. We all get to that decision phase. And sometimes it takes 7 points for people to meet us and see us and meet us and see us post on social media before they even make a decision. So where do they go in this day? They go to your website because social media and digital tools drive traffic to our website. So now they go to your website because likes and comments, they can like your post on Facebook or like on Instagram and just like and get away, go on about their business. But when they're in the decision phase thinking, wow, I'm kind of interested in this company, they're going to go to what I call the new front door. And the new front door is your website. And you have to make sure that your website is doing what it's supposed to do. It should convert. Okay, and the website, and I will be giving a webinar on the 12 musts of a website. A website is not about me. My website is not about Marsha Lynn Hudson. Your website is not about you. The website is about them. It's always about them. Your website should be displaying everything you can do to help your customer, everything your product does to benefit your customer. Your website needs to be always about them. It shouldn't be, oh, I'm Marsha Lynn Hudson. I have this degree. I've gone to this school. I've been in business this long. That's nice and dandy, but people want to know what's in it for me. And then the fourth step is once they get to your website, they're convinced that your product is beneficial to them. Now they're going to take action. They may email you, they may call you, or they just may make a purchase right off your site if you have something to purchase. This is the 4-step customer journey, and this is true. And this is true. So you can take screenshots with your phone if you like, but you don't want to forget this. So how does the funnel work? So you get discovered. So you might say, okay, I'm going to be discovered on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Or you might say, okay, no, I don't want to deal with Instagram, which is wonderful for business owners. But you may say, okay, I'm going to be discovered on Facebook and LinkedIn. Or you might say, I'm going to be discovered on LinkedIn and Twitter. But you have to choose, like I taught, from where your customers are. You may say Pinterest is good for me. Pinterest is a part search engine, part social media. Pinterest is a search engine, just like Google. And people go there looking for things. Pinterest will drive traffic to your blog if you have a blog. Pinterest will drive traffic to your website. And Pinterest, like I say, it's part social media and part search engine. So you may say, okay, well, I'm going to be discovered on YouTube. So you have to decide one or two. That's all you need. Then you have to decide on the kind of content you're going to start sharing. Okay. Are you going to share motivational content, educational content, Q&As? Are you going to do informative content? So you want to make sure your content is interesting, not just promoting, overly promoting. We're going to talk about that later. And then you have to move them from social to your website through your content. People are like, wow, these people have some great content online. Let me find out a little bit more about them. So you have to move people from your social media to your website. Rarely do you just get sales from your social media, but social media creates awareness. Social media is a great tool. It creates awareness. It creates visibility. It positions you as an industry leader, but it's supposed to drive people to the place where you get your sales, which is your website. And then you offer transformation and people pay for it. So when people go to move from social media, they don't just want information, they want transformation. They want to take what you taught them or what you showed them, and they want their lives to be transformed. They want it to be better, or their business to be better, or their personal. Let's say you're a health coach or a lifestyle coach. They want their personal lives to be better. People want transformation. So here are, and we're going to go into these 6 effective digital tools for 2021. It may change in a few months because we'll be in 2022. But for now, these are the most effective tools. So you have your website. It is a tool. Social media is a great tool for visibility, awareness, and sending traffic to your website. Email marketing is one of your best friends. You don't own social media. It can close you down, it can block you, but email is, you own it. You send stuff to people's inbox. With social media, it goes down, down, down each day. We may not even see it in 3 days later, but it's in the inbox. Email marketing is your best friend. If you are not doing it, you are leaving money on the table. And everybody on your email list is worth at least $15 every time you send out an email. Video is huge, and I tell people, if you're afraid of it, I get that. I was like, oh my goodness, I do not want to be on video, but I had to get over it. And even if you make 2-minute videos and upload them to your Facebook, or upload it to your Instagram, or upload it to your any sites is great. Blogging is great for Google. Google loves blogs, and it's great for positioning you and your company and your products as an industry leader. Blogging has so many benefits. I need to do a full webinar on blogging. I think I am. And podcasts are so popular now. People can listen to your podcast in the car, listen going to work, listen at the gym. And so there's just so many opportunities now for us to grow our businesses. So tool number one is your website. And be sure and save those questions for Q&A or take screenshots. But this is your most valuable marketing tool. It is the front door of your business. It's your home page should always let clients know what you do for them. It's not about you. When people land on my website at marshallyannhudson.com, they're going to see I help entrepreneurs do such and such, because it's not about me. It's about them. Later on, they may find out a little about me, but soon as they land on the home page, they need to know, what can I do for them? They want to know what's in it for me. So you can drive traffic from other tools, from their podcast to your website, from your videos to your website, from your blog to your website. So you can drive traffic from the other tools. You can diversify your about page. And when I realized, if you have Google Analytics, that's free on the back end of your website, it tells you who came to your site, how long they stayed on your site, what pages they visited. And when I check my Google Analytics, which I check it about once a week, I realized, wow, 85% of people who visited my site went to the About page. So I went in and changed it. I spent like a day or so changing my About page. And first I did some research on it. And I noticed that people had lots of pictures on there. They talked about their passions. They talked about them. So I made my About page more person friendly instead of just business, more person, because people do business with people. And so I have several pictures. I have a picture of me. I like my cowboy hat. I like my cowboy boots. I like it. I have a picture with my hat on there. I have some my passions, things I like to do besides being a business owner. I have a few other pictures. I have a picture with a camera around my neck because I'm a photographer. I diversify my About page. Why? Because so many people were going there. And then on my About page, I have a contact button and I have something free to give away. Why wouldn't I do that if so many people are coming to that page? So I went there and diversified and made more of a people friendly page instead of just, this is what I do, here are my credentials. You can add a short video letting people know how you service them. And you want to make sure that you put that on your website if you like. You don't have to have a video on your website, but it's nice to have a short 1 minute or 2 minute video. It could be a slideshow if you don't want to have your face on there, but it can be something that's letting people know how you service them. You want to make sure on your contact page that you have, because people will go to your contact page to kind of look around. You have your email, you have that box that they can fill out, you have your social media links, you have an image on there, and you can always put an opt-in on there too, which leads me to this last point. Lead magnets or opt-ins, you want to add that to get emails. So when people land on your website, we don't want them just land there, look around and leave, because statistically people stay on your website less than 5 minutes. Wow, right? But if you have an opt-in that they like, then they will download that opt-in and you will get their email, and then you can spend more time with them. So that's tool number one. Tool number two is social media. It's not an option anymore for us as small business owners, entrepreneurs. Social media is a must. Okay, it's a must. And people are like, I don't have time to do it. I don't know what to do. I tell people, hire a student, train the student, because just because they're a student doesn't mean they know how to do social media for business. And at least have a student run your social media twice a week. If you're on a budget, twice a week is not that much of an investment. But if you can do it yourself, maybe you can schedule it on the weekend, but it's not an option. Okay. You have to add it. So you don't have to be everywhere, like I talked about, to grow your brand. Pick one or two sites, but you have to go all in on those one or two. Create content that people like, and it's not just promoting your services or promoting your business. People want information. They want motivational sayings. They want to know about you. They want Q&A. They want education tips. Content that engages people. Engaging people does not mean hire Marshall Lynn Hudson, hire Marshall Lynn Hudson. I'm a social media person. Of course I want you to hire me, but that's not what you want to always promote. Sometimes, yeah. You don't have to be online every day. It has changed. It used to be you had to be on Twitter. You had to tweet 10 times a day. You had to be on Instagram 5 times a day. It's not like that anymore. It's quality over quantity. You can build a brand 2 to 3 days a week. And I think we can all spare for our businesses if we want to grow 2 to 3 days a week. You don't need thousands of followers to make money. Okay. That is such a myth. It's like, oh, I went to Instagram. This person has 10,000 followers or 1 million followers. But are they buying anything from them? Are they engaging? It's not about followers. You can have 100 good followers who are engaging with you, purchasing from you. What if 10 of them are purchasing every month? I prefer that than the 1 million followers who are not. So it's not about how many followers you have. It's about quality over quantity. And I always say give value first through your content before selling. Don't take the social out of social media. It's not business media, it's social media. And I've learned so much about that. I love that phrase. I think I came up with that phrase. Don't take the social out of social media. I borrow a lot of phrases from other people, but it can't be business media. So what would you post if you're going to you start really getting active on your social media, your email, your blog, video, or podcast? There are 6 buckets of content that I use, and of course, there are others, but I've used these 6 buckets and they work. Research shows that these are the types of content that people really engage with. And so I use them over and over on all of my sites, my blog, my email, my podcast. And so one bucket of content is your about, where you might post about your business or why you started it or why you love it or why you're passionate about it. You want to be human, authentic. People like to do business with people. They just do. And when we don't show our human side, we don't let people get to know us. You have hobbies, you have passions, you have interests. There are more things to you than just being a business owner. And I have really allowed people to get to know the human part of me. Anybody who follows me knows I love walking. That's one of my things. And I just let people in. I'm like, I'm out having a nice evening walk. This entrepreneur is taking a break, and people engage with it. They love it. So that could be one bucket. You might say, I think I'm going to post to or write an email and talk about that, or do a blog or post about social media. Maybe Tuesday could be your day where you use something from that bucket. Go behind the scenes, let people know what you do. Let's say you're a designer, you're helping someone, do something in their home. Take a picture and post it. Let people see. Let's say you're a real estate professional and you're headed out to meet a client, and maybe you stop at Starbucks. Take a picture, let them know this is what I do behind the scenes before I go meet a client. Maybe you're in the fashion business, or you make things, or you create things, or you're an artist, or you're a writer. Let people know what you do behind the scenes. I made several videos of behind the scenes. I actually showed a setup of how I set up for a video, to make a video. And I took a picture of my setup, my tripod, my camera, where I had things behind the scenes. People love it. Motivate and inspire people. This is another bucket where you may say, okay, I'm going to do Motivational Monday. People like that. And you might put a motivational quote or a motivational saying on your social site and put that on a Monday. Educate, inform, and teach. This is a big bucket that people love. I've found that people want knowledge. They want information. They want to know how to do something. They want their lives to be transformed. Even with I used an example of the pest company. Even with that, when I was looking for one, I went online looking for a good company, to make sure to take care of my home, to keep the things out that I don't want in. And so I looked at a few companies online, and some of them had so much educational information on their website about, what to do about this, how to do this, things to get, things to take care of. And I loved it. And before I made my decision, because there are lots of companies like that, and let's say you're not going by price, because they're pretty much all the same price to come out and do that. I made my decision based on the education and the information that I saw on the website. I was like, I like this company. It seems like they're very well versed in what I want done. Okay. So let's say you put tips on you may have Tip Tuesday or Tip Thursday, where you give tips from your industry or inform people or something or teach people or something. I'm a photographer, and we do photography and video. And we actually had to do a big job just recently. So, what if I posted on how to shoot with photography during the daylight in the sun, which is really difficult? And so, teaching people things and informing them something that's going to help them with a transformation. Use video. We talked about that. Let them know about your products without a hard sale. Do you know that giving information from these other buckets will let them know about your products without a hard sale? You're letting them know about you as the person, the business owner. You're inspiring them. You're educating them. You're doing video. You're actually selling without that hard sale. So here are three parts to a good post. When we are embarking upon these digital tools, um, and trying to enhance our customer experience, these are three parts to a good post. So let's say you put an image or a video up, valuable content, and hashtags. Okay. And so these are things that will help you to enhance your customer experience once they land on your social site or your website or wherever. These things will help you to enhance the experience. You can put hashtags now even in your bio link, because hashtags they've become like just like magnets for clients to find you. So let's say you're posting to Facebook, and you say, okay, it's Motivational Monday, and you put an image up, you put your valuable content up from one of those buckets. Your content is probably going to be a motivational saying, and you put your hashtags. For Facebook, you don't want to do more than 7. Write that down. 6 or 7 hashtags right now for Facebook. Facebook is getting more into hashtag, but no more than 6 or 7. For Instagram, you can use up to 30 hashtags, and you want to use all 30 of them. For LinkedIn, you can use up to 6 or 7 hashtags, because you have a number that the algorithms like to let people see. So Facebook and Instagram, not as many as Facebook and LinkedIn, not as many as Instagram is 30. But you always want to put something that people can visually see in your post. I even do it in my emails. Even in my blog, I'll put an image. I put valuable content in my blog. So you want to add that. So when are the best times in posts? When we're using these digital tools. And it's so important if we want to enhance our customer experience and we want to engage with customers at the right time. There are times to post according to the algorithms, the best times in post to getting more visibility here in 2021. What I found for me, because I'm not going to go post to Facebook, then come back later and do Instagram, then later and LinkedIn. I do all of mine when I sit down, one sitting. If I'm going to post from 11 to 11:30, that's my time. I block off that time. I block off 11:30. I may get my coffee, get in front of my kid. That's my time for my social media presence. So if I'm going to block off from 11:30, I'm going to post to my Facebook page, my Instagram, and my LinkedIn. And because that's a lot of time. And I'm going to contribute to 2 or 3 of my Facebook groups, and I'm done. So you really can run your schedule in 30 minutes, especially if you pre-plan it, like a day on a weekend or something. So I have found for me, my best times, well, I post every day. I post 5 days a week because I'm a social media strategist. But for you as a business owner, you only need to pick 2 or 3. I have found for me, the best times that I get good engagement is between 10 to 2. And sometimes I may stretch it to 3. And it works well for me. And I really found the sweet spot around 11. So pick a time within these times that you are going to show up online with a digital tool, because I look at it this way. If I can devote 20 or 30 minutes a few days a week to online tools, social media, a blog, a video, whatever, what am I doing? I'm growing my business. When I don't do it, I'm saying I don't want to grow my business. So when we say I just don't have time, you're just really saying you don't have time to grow your business. And I know that that's not what you want to say. So these are the best times for posting. So 2, 3. So 2, 2 is social media. 2, 3 is email marketing. This is your best friend. I cannot stress that enough. You own it. It's unlike social media. Every person on your list is worth at least $15. And you can get started with your email provider, either Constant Contact or MailChimp or ConvertKit. Take a screenshot and look these 3 up and see which one you want to use. You might say, you know what, I need to start email marketing. Or you might say, I don't really have anybody on my list. Who do I email to? Believe it or not, you do. I tell people, think about family and friends. Think about past clients. Think about people who are in your Gmail. You might have a good list of 25, 50, 100. You can start. And you want to craft emails with good subject lines that people will open. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be valuable. And I like the once a week, but if you're too busy for the once a week, at least for at least 2 times a month. So if you can't do 4 times a month, which is your once a week, at least 2 times a month. That is not a lot. It takes no more than 30 minutes to craft an email. And people were like, well, Marsha, you're a writer. It comes easy for you. Not really. I just do a lot of thinking and planning and looking at what people want. And so when I send an email, it's that same 3-part. I'm going to have an opening, something that's going to engage them. I'm going to have a middle part where I'm going to give some valuable and be significant. And I'm going to have an ending where I have a call to action. I may send them to a YouTube video. I may send them to follow me on Instagram. I may send them to my website. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be valuable. And we need to just show up, so that we stay on top of mind. Many of you who are here today probably got an email about something that you can learn today, a training session such as this. Email is your friend. So why should you email or list build? Because you stay on top of mind, you build relationships. That's really the key. Social media is social media. You have to build relationships before people can trust you and become a client or customer. Promote products and services, increase your revenue. And I say client or customer, I'm using the word back and forth. It's no different. I just use them back and forth. Your client is your customer is your client. And so when you do your list building, these are some benefits for you. And you can even promote your products and services a little bit more in the email than you can on social media, because the algorithms really don't like overly promoting. So how can you grow your list? People are like, I don't have a list from ground zero. And I say, this is a good little thinking time. I am a firm believer in having planning time, thinking time, and writing things down. I am a firm, I guess I'm from the old school. I know we can do it on the computer or the phone. I've been teaching over 20 years. I'm just a pen and paper person. But I'm a firm believer in planning time. If you have to get away from your home for 30 minutes, head to Starbucks or a coffee house, planning time. I'm a firm believer in that. Thinking time. What can I do? What kind of time do I have? Thinking time. And you will be amazed of what you will come up with. You can think of your past clients, people who are on your email list. Family and friends can be a part of your list. So you can start with a good list of 25 to 50 people. And I always say, if you haven't emailed in a while and you're starting, send out a welcome email. Thank you for being a part of our emails. We are going to start our campaign. You're going to get great information from us each month. Let them know, because you hadn't shown up in a while and bam, you pop up in their box. You definitely don't want to sell and you just popped up. Just let them know what your plans are. So you can make lists and put them in your new service provider, but I do not recommend buying emails, because I want people who actually gave me their email. That means they want what I have to say. They want to hear. They actually get. Plus, it's just not a good idea to buy emails. It messes up a whole lot of your stuff with your regular people. So what is an opt-in? Because I talked about having an opt-in to get emails and having an opt-in on your website. So this is something that you create. It doesn't have to be long, and you give it away. It's valuable, very valuable. You put it on your website. People download it. They's like, wow, I want that. And they've opted into your site. So now they've given you their email. And like I say, you don't have to make it long. It just needs to be valuable. So how do you create a good opt-in? This is how you come up with an opt-in. You say to yourself, what can I create and give away that people will give me their email for? What can I create and give away that people will get? That's another thing in your planning thinking time. And I work with people with that when I'm working with their websites, and they're like, okay, Marsha, what do I say for an opt-in? And I ask them, what's your client base or your customer base? What will they give? What kind of PDF could you make, a checklist or a toolkit that they can download and say, wow, I want that. And they give you the email for it. That's your opt-in. So here are a few. Your opt-in, or some people call it a freebie. Make it a quick win. Solve one problem with it. That's it. You don't need to put a whole lot of things. Solve one problem with your opt-in. Make it one quick win. So I had one client, we worked together, and she makes beauty products. And I said, she was like, well, what do I make for my opt-in? And I said, what do your clients ask you about? Well, they have problems with acne. How to get rid of my clients really have problems. Okay, that's your opt-in. 7 steps to getting rid of acne. And make sure when you did give those 7 steps, you give them some practical steps, maybe something to do in the morning, something to do at night, something they can buy over the counter, to help. And that's the one quick win. Now, if I was having problems with acne and I trusted this company, I would download that and give my email. Another one is a toolkit for finding content. This is one of mine. My clients or customers, they want the tools. What do I do, Marsha, for content? How do I create it? How do I find it? So I put together a toolkit for content. That's a great opt-in. People will give their email for it. Now, when they get an email, I need to give them some tools. It may be 3 tools or 4 tools. A video series. This is a really good one. A video series on how to. Let's say you made 3 short videos with your phone. They could be 3-minute video on how to do something that your customer or client really wants to know. So it could be, I gave my email for a video series on how to do Facebook ads correctly. I gladly gave my email for that. How to do Facebook ads correctly. And it was great. And it had 4 little short videos. It's just like that. And an opt-in can be created in Canva. And Canva is Canva. I didn't put that in the slide, but I'm throwing that in. And opt-in can be created with Canva. And in this short little training session, you don't have that much time here. But after the training session, check out Canva. It's free, it's easy, and you can easily make an opt-in with Canva. So how do you create subject lines that people will open? Because we are talking about this tool, email marketing. And if you're going to start emailing and you hadn't done it for a while, we want people to open your email once they see it pop in their inbox. Well, what will make people open an email is the subject line. Okay, so you can make a statement for your subject line. Here is how to make it better, whatever it is that your company can do. Here's another good one for a subject line. List and numbers make good subject line. 8 amazing tips to generating content. I would open that email. Okay. Curiosity. I used to do this backwards. I would open it because I've done so many things backwards. I would love to know, what is this business owner, what is it that they used to do? One word. Believe it or not, one word, people will open an email. What if you hadn't been emailing a long time and your email said, hey, or hello? I would open it just to kind of see what's in there. So you want to go through the emails that you have and see who has good subject lines. That's something I do. I mean, I have lots of emails that come into my inbox, and I save some of them because sometimes I'm too busy during the week to read them. I save them and put them in an email swipe file, and I look at them on the weekend. Some of them I look at right there, but even only if the subject line makes me want to click. And it has to be something that I feel I'm going to benefit from. The subject line may talk about email. The subject line may talk about blog. The subject line may talk about social media. The subject line may talk about successful tips for a business owner. It has to be something that I'm going to be interested in before I even click, because I get way too many. So some subject lines I just delete because the subject line didn't get to me something that's going to make my life better, easier. It's always about us. What can you do for me? It's always about us. So you want to go through emails that you get and look at the subject lines and see which ones you open, and maybe you don't have to copy, but you get ideas and inspiration. So tool 4 is video. People love them, and the algorithms love them. The algorithms love video. And if you want to grow your business, I'm telling you, video is the way to go. I need to start making a few more myself. I usually make one a week, a 2 or 3 minute video. I need to start making more myself, because I'm telling you, in Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, I mean, it's just, they will let more people see. People will follow your brand because of video. Studies, Facebook Live is free. Studies show that more people make a purchase after watching a video. I know that's true for me on Amazon. I mean, there are so many people offering products on Amazon, and I'll watch a little video before I buy one. Some of them even have, like, let's say you're looking for a rug, and then you click the little video and it shows you the rug, how to put it down, how it looks. And then some of them even show you how it looks in your home. I mean, it's crazy amazing. And I have purchased because of that. I was like, oh, this is going to look really good under my dining set. So they really work. And I say, if you're nervous about it, it doesn't even have to be long. 2 to 3 minute video with your phone, add it to your social media once a week. So I call it short form video. And you can take a screenshot, because this is a good slide right here. And I call it snackable video sometimes, but they work. And it's a trend now, and you can make them with your phone. You don't need all of this equipment anymore. And yes, I have professional videographers on listening, but they still need you too. They still need me too. I'm a professional videographer, but people still need us too. But when we're talking about short form videos, snackable little thing, people need us for, something more. But the little 2 minute video that they can put, on their site, on, even on YouTube now, they like short form video. You only need a short script for those 2 minutes. Give an introduction, give you some valuable tips and your call to action. Where do you want them to go? Upload your video in minutes once a week. I think I may kind of maybe bump that up to twice a week because I've been reading lately that the algorithms are really moving over to video. And Instagram announced they're no longer a photo sharing app. They more into video. So if you're afraid of being in front of the camera, maybe do some without showing your face. But we have to get over it, right? So 2.5, as we're wrapping up, blogging. Blogging is great for driving traffic to our website. Blogging is great for you Google, because Google will pick you up because you add fresh content. Blogging will show you as a leader in your industry. So there are so many benefits to blogging. You can add the blog to your website where people just click the link that says blog and they can go to all of your blogs. Maybe you blog twice a month, and I keep stressing they don't have to be long. They just need to be valuable. When I gave my email for a download, and it was a checklist for giving webinars, by the way. And I gave my email for because I love giving webinars. I think I'm pretty good at giving them, but I wanted to make sure I was doing them right. And I gave my email for this checklist for giving webinars. And it only had like 7 things, but it was so valuable. And one said, get ring lights. And I bought ring lights. One said, buy a mic, so that's going to help people to be able to hear. So I bought the mic. I had this headphone mic on. I mean, these little 7 tips on this checklist was wonderful. And one said, make sure you have a good chair because you're going to be sitting. I mean, the checklist was wonderful. And then it said, have good content, short content to share with the people who are going to spend 50 to 60 minutes. Make sure they can walk away with at least one good idea. And so I followed that checklist, and I'm happy I gave my email for it. So a blog doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be valuable. I read a blog just the other day on podcasting tips. I mean, you can get started with blogging in just a few steps. So you might say, okay, Marsha, I'm thinking about blogging, and in this time period we don't have much time. I always say, go do your homework. If you're thinking about it, watch a YouTube video on blogging. You can find everything you need to find on how to get started on blogging. Do your homework, watch a YouTube video, read some other people's blog. It's always a step further because, in a training webinar, you have only a little time, but we always have to go a step further, because of the time limit. So the last tool is podcasts, and they are becoming so popular now. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to come up with different content. You can do one piece of content and use that on the video, the blog, and the podcast. I do it. And people listen to it in the car, on the treadmill, at home. I listen to podcasts while I'm actually working on my computer because I love learning. Love, love, love learning because that's the key to growth. And I can be doing work on my computer. I'll put my headphones on and put a podcast on. The podcast may be on Instagram, or the podcast may be on social media tips or content marketing, or the podcast can be on being a successful business owner. And I'm listening to the podcast while I'm actually working. And if I make a video on how to manage your social media in 30 minutes a day, I can make the video, I can make a blog around that, and I can do a podcast around that. So you don't have to come up with all of this different content. You can just come up with one theme and put it on all. A podcast is like, to me, a radio show. I really do like podcasts. I just got into podcasts myself the last few months, and I'm really enjoying it. And I just feel like every time I do a podcast, I'm having my own weekly radio show. I do it now because I do so many things. I only do one a month, but some people do one a week. But I have to know my limitations, and I have to know my boundaries. So I only do like one a month. I may go up to 2, but I'm everywhere because I'm a social media person. But when I do a podcast show, I've already planned it, and I've already planned it in my planning time, and I might say, okay, The podcast show that I'm going to do this month is going to be on effective strategies for enhancing your customer's experience, because that's been my theme. So here I am doing a webinar on it, okay, on digital tools and strategies to enhance your customer's experience. And I did a podcast on digital tools that enhance your customer's experience. I did a video on it. So all of my things are surrounded around the tools, because they are very important and they can enhance your customer's experience and make them loyal customers and continue to buy. So that was my theme for everything. I don't have to come up with a whole lot of content. And podcasts will drive traffic to your website. I got started with a podcast for little or nothing. I researched it and I was like, I want to start a podcast. And I researched it and I found Anchor, and it's free, anchor.fm. If you want to just start, Anchor is good. If you want to take it to different levels, doing video podcast, you can move to something more later. But to get started, and I bought a podcast mic from Amazon. I wrote my content down, and then I watched a few podcasts. I listened to what other people were doing, and then I took about 2 months and I produced my first one. And that's just how simple it was to start a podcast show. And I have fun. I come on and I introduce myself. I have on my headphones and I talk about what we're going to talk about. And I tell people about some other things that I have. It's like a radio show. My podcasts are usually about 12 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. We were on a road trip, my husband and we took a little vacation, a few days, a few weeks ago. I didn't have to drive, which I was happy about that. And we were on like a 3-hour road trip headed out of town. What did I do? Listen to podcasts. I loved it. Oh my, I loved it. We had to stop at Buc-ee's. What's a road trip without Buc-ee's, right? We stopped at Buc-ee's, got our stuff back in. I listened to so many podcasts. I listened to one podcast where a lady was talking about how the things that she had done wrong as a business owner, she wished she had known. That was one of them I listened to. And they're not even long. One of them I listened to a podcast on how to help your customers move from part A to part B. I mean, I just loved it. And I just listen to podcasts in the car. So, they're great. And you can link your social sites or your websites to podcasts. So I could go on and on about podcasts, but what tool can you add on a consistent basis to grow your business and enhance your customer experience? I don't want you to be overwhelmed as we wrap up. I don't want you to be confused. I want you to pick something. You might say, maybe I should add blogging, or maybe I should actually start doing email, or maybe I can look into podcast. But you need a tool, or maybe I need to revamp or update my website. You need a tool to enhance your customer experience. And you need social media for sure, but you need at least one other, because you can't rely on social media alone. So if you're here today and you've gotten any kind of inspiration or any kind of tips, or you're thinking about something, or you've been thinking about it, which one can you add, before this year goes out? So I like this saying. I don't know who wrote it. One day or day one, it's your choice. We put things off. So one day I'm going to do this. One day I'm going to do that. Have you ever gotten to this place? I've been here where I said, well, one day I'm going to do this. I look up and it's 4 months. 4 months have gone by. Well, one day I'm going to do this. I look up and it's 6 months have gone by. And can you imagine a year or two have gone by? I meet so many people. I'm a writer. I've written books. I've written different things. And I meet people and they're like, oh, I want to write a book. Almost every day I would meet people. Oh, yeah, I want to write a book. And they've been talking about it for years. And there's so much online to help people start to get that book out of their head and get it on paper. So we have to decide. Am I going to do this now, or am I going to wait another month or 2 or 6? Because we can add something. So tools for the busy solopreneur. You say, I'm busy. I'm a small business. I'm by myself. Here are the tools that I use. Here are the tools that I like to help me when I'm really busy. Facebook Creator Studio is free. and you can schedule your post. So you can do it on a Sunday or a Saturday at night and just have your posts go out the times that are optimal. We talked about 10 to 2. So Facebook Creator Studio will allow you to schedule posts for Facebook and Instagram at this time. And so if you're too busy to sit down, like I usually sit down at my time live, schedule it. Another tool I like is Later. Later.com is free. And you can schedule Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. You can schedule all of those from Later. Check that out later on Google. Check that out. But you can schedule all of those free, where you, let's say you have your post and you actually can't sit down at that time. You can pull in your picture in Later. You can pull in your image or your video, your content, and your hashtag. You can put them all in there. It's so easy. And tell Later, send this tomorrow at 11:30. Now Buffer is there's a paid version. I don't know too much of a free one, but Buffer, I think it's like $15 a month if you want to schedule LinkedIn, because you can't do LinkedIn with the other two here at the top. So Buffer, you can schedule all of them, and LinkedIn. But that's a paid one. It's $15 a month. But you don't want to just schedule and post the same thing across the board every day. That's not something you want to do. Okay. And you don't want to just post. You need to engage and comment and like and on other people's page. Social media is a two-way street. And I like Canva. It's another good tool if you're busy. Canva has a free version. I use the paid version. I think it's $12.99 a month. But there's also a free version where you can create images, create all types of things for all of your sites. You can create your opt-ins. You can check out Canva. It's easy. I like easy and simple. I don't want to be confused and overwhelmed. I'm just way too busy for that. And so you can Google all of these in your spare time. These are tools for us if you're busy, or if you're working by yourself, or you're a side hustler, you're working for someone else and you're doing your business on the side. These are great tools, so you don't have to say, well, I just don't have time to do that stuff. Now you do. So here are a little bit more information into the scheduling tools. If you want to take a picture with your phone, take a screenshot of the ones that I just talked about, which ones you can post from, how much it is, all the things that you can do and things like that. And Canva, like I said, it's a tool that you definitely want to have in your bag, because it's in minutes. You can make graphics, you can drag and drop your own images, you can create your post in Canva. It's just it will size things. It will size your post for Instagram and then change the size for Facebook. And so it's great, and there are a lot of benefits to it. So here's my strategy. So 2-2-20 is 2 sites, 2 days a week, 20 minutes a day. 3-3-30 is, if you can do it a little bit more, 3 sites, 3 days, 30 minutes a day. That's all you need. That's all you need to get your digital tools, enhance your customer experience, to get your presence online. So you pick 2 or 3 channels, you show up 2 or 3 days, here are your times. You can use an auto schedule. You want to engage, like, comment, share on your followers page. That's really all the time it takes. So if you say, I like that 2-2-20 strategy, then you pick 2 sites, 2 days for 20 minutes. That's all it's going to take you. Or you pick 3 sites for 3 days for 30 minutes. That's all it's going to take you. So here's a bonus: networking in groups. You want to think about networking in Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, showing up on a community, participating in the group, not just selling. You can create your own group, but groups are becoming very big for community and for building relationships. And I say don't join more than 2 or 3, because you need to show up and be active in it. So success doesn't just come from what we do occasionally, okay? It comes from what we do consistently. I like Marie Forleo. You should look her up. She's a business coach. She's great. She has a lot of free stuff online to help us as business owners. I read quite a bit of her stuff. But success doesn't come from what we do occasionally. We can't show up one week, not show up the next week. Okay, I'm on vacation. Even though we were on vacation a few days ago, and my husband's like, when are you going to put that phone down? I was like, I still have to do my social media. media, even though we're on vacation, because it's not going to take me but a few minutes out of our whole day. But we can't just go in and out, off and on, stop and go. We have to be consistent. And that's why I came up with the 2 or 3 day a week, to make sure we're building our business. So thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you have a few questions and staying to the end. Of course, I hope you connect with me. Go to my website, marshallanhudson.com. I do have a free strategy workbook there for you. I have a free hashtag guide there for you. And I have a free branding guide that I created there for you. So head over to marshallanhudson.com to get what I've been talking about today, my opt-ins or my freebies, and they are full of value. So if you guys have any Q&A, we can get that started now. Thanks again for coming and staying with us to the end.
Thank you so much, Marcia. This was really great. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I had a couple, so I'm gonna ask mine first.
Okay.
If you're doing an educational video for your website, how long should that be?
That is a great question. Did you have part 2 to the question?
Well, I mean, looking at that, I tie that into your blog and your podcasts as well. I mean, we all have short attention spans. So what is an ideal length for
That's
these
great.
items?
Okay, and I've researched this because you're right. We do have short attention spans, but just think about when we're watching a YouTube video. We do have short attention span, but sometimes I'll watch a YouTube video for 30 minutes because it just keeps me engaged. But sometimes I'll watch something for a minute. But the time span for a video on your website can be 1 minute, 2 minutes, no more than 3.
Okay.
But when they come to your website, make sure you have your analytics so you can see how long are they watching the video. If 3 minutes is too long, change it to 2. But when you make a video, it has to have that hook. As soon as they hit that little button, that little arrow to start it, it has to have that hook, because the first few seconds must hook us to keep us reading. So you might say, well, what would that hook be? If I click that little arrow to start watching a video, it's going to either make me stay after the few seconds or leave. That hook can be a phrase or a catchy saying or something that's like something that's going to connect the person so they're saying yes before they leave. You might say, wow, I can't believe I made such a big mistake with my business. Have you ever done that? I'm thinking this, I'm staying. It's a few seconds. I'm like, yeah, I want to know, what did she do to fix it? Well, what I learned is this and this, and how to fix my business so I can grow. You still got me. I'm still with you because I need to know that. And so you may go into something that your product or your product to me is a great product. I'm talking about the SBDC product. You may be talking about a different business, but your product to me is a great product because it teaches business owners. It helps them with tools. It helps them to grow. So if I saw a video and your video said, are you a busy business owner who just can't find time to do the things you need to do? You've hooked me. I'm still here. You see? So you got to have a hook. And then after you've hooked the people, you have to have something that they need to connect with. They need this. And then you might have like a small call to action.
Okay.
So what kind of business can the person say? Or is it a service business, or is it for companies? Is it for people? Is it for individuals?
Now, that was a general question that I had
Okay.
listening to you. I can definitely understand the hook because it's like, okay, ease my pain somehow.
Right.
And how do you do that? And I can definitely understand that.
Right.
So
Right.
that was just in general.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to have a hook. And then I tell my students when they're like, okay, Professor Hudson, how do I come up with a hook? YouTube video. How do you come up with a hook? You can find everything on YouTube video because some people, I'm
Yeah.
really good with hooks. Some people have a hard time with hooks, and that's okay. A hook can be a question, a hook can be a phrase, a hook can be a quote. You can come on the video and say, in the words of Steve Jobs, successful people do things, and they do lots of them. That's actually what he said. I watched the video on him because he was very successful. But Steve Jobs said successful people do things and they try things and they try lots of them. He did that. He tried lots of things, and that is a hook. That is a hook. And Brian Tracy, you might use somebody who your clients can relate to. Brian Tracy is a business coach. I really like Brian Tracy. So you might start your hook with a quote or a saying or a question, something that people they're shaking their head saying, yeah. And then after you hook them, then you want to go into giving the meat, into, let's say you want to go into giving them meat tips or tools, something that how you can help them with that thing that they're shaking their head with. And then at the end of the video, you always give a call to action. If you want to learn more or you need more help, be sure and whatever it is where you want them to go. Check out our podcast on how to be a successful business owner. I was listening to one on 15 things that successful owners do every morning. 15 things that hooked me. I want to be successful, and one of them was they have quiet time, they meditate. 15 things. They read something. It was just amazing. So that's what you can do.
Oh, that's great information. Let's see. One question. If we have a service company that requires a meeting with a client before giving pricing, what do you recommend putting on the website to get them to contact you?
That's really good. And I do this quite a bit as a photographer. I recommend putting on the website the benefits to them, the pain points, ending any pain points with your content for them. I recommend, I don't know if you've ever seen a landing page, if you ever gone a Facebook ad, and this is a good example. A lot of times I'm scrolling through my phone and a Facebook ad pops up. And on the Facebook ad, it may have a few words, but then it has download or learn more. So when you click the button, it goes to this long landing page and they have something to sell. But before they get to the pricing, they had all of these things that it'll have why you need this, how this is going to help you, what's included. It has all of these things before I get to the price. And I'm like, okay, how much is this going to be? But I'm reading, and it has the benefits to me, and it may have a picture, and it may have some testimonials. Testimonials are great of why. And then at the end of this landing page, it says $97, which is wonderful, versus $997. But for me, so you want to put all of those things before, because people want to know the benefits. How is it going to help me before they get to buying? Even if something is $5, which $5 to me is nothing, I'm not going to spend the $5 if it's not going to help me. So even though it's $5, if it's not, if it's a hair product, it's like, okay, I need this to put shine in my hair. Oh, it's $3.95. But if they didn't tell me the benefits of it, it's gonna put shine, it's gonna do this. I don't care if it's $3.95. I'm still not buying it. I do it as a photographer because as photography and video is not inexpensive, and I know Brett knows that. And so when people call me and they're like, "How much is it?" That's the first thing they say. How much is it to get such and such? Or how much is it to get you to shoot my wedding? I don't tell them the price. I don't have Brett's like, I don't tell them the price. And when they first call me, how much is it to get a headshot? How much? That's a first question. How much is it to get a branding, get a consultation with you? I tell them, first of all, I want to know about them because it's all about them. I was like, well, tell me a little bit about what you're looking for your wedding. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to have that. We're going to have, I was like, oh, that is great. And well, tell me a little bit more. Well, when did you meet? Oh, we met. Like, now I'm getting them to talk about them. So it's
Mhm.
always about them. But then I start saying, okay, so what we have is, and I never get to the price until way down at the end. I was like, oh my goodness, we are going to do this. We're going to make sure that we're here for this. We're going to bring this. You're going to have this. We're going to have 2 people. You're going to have an assistant. You're going to have these wonderful pictures. We're going to have, I go, all of this stuff. And I said, now we have different packages, different things, but I've given them the benefits. I put myself at their event. I listened to a little about them before I tell them our pricing starts at, either I'm gonna lose them now or I'm gonna still keep them because I've told them a lot. We're gonna be there 6 hours. We're gonna do this. You're gonna get all of the high resolution images. I gotta make them know that this starting price of $1,800 is worth it. I can't just say, oh, it's $1,800. They're gone.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
it's $17.95 really. It's 17. We start at $17.95 for wedding photography. We start at, and you know, when you want all these different things, it's different. But either I'm gonna keep them or not. Then I will say, when you hear this pause, ooh, $17.95. But that's really pretty good because I know some people start at 3,000. So I say, well, we also have where you can get on a payment plan.
Mm-hmm.
You see, now I'm making it a little bit more affordable. So your first payment, would be, and you can break your payments down into 3 to make it more affordable for you. And you're getting professional photographer, not just somebody with a camera. And you're getting somebody you can rely on. We have testimony. You see, so you got to let them know all of the benefit, even when somebody called me for a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
How much is a headshot? They are 150, but I never start there. I said, well, when was the last time you had one? Oh my God, it's been like 6 years. I was like, you need to get a new one. It's been a while. Do you still look the same? And I'm like having them laughing. I never talk about it. They just start, it's like ready to pay. And I said, well, what are you going to use it for? Well, I need it for this. And I said, you know what? A headshot is so important because it is the face of what people see. It brands you. I mean, it's so important. It tells people a lot about you. So with a headshot, you're not just getting a headshot, you're branding, you're getting it, and you're going to have it for about 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Our headshots start at 150, ma'am. That's like that's like 50 cents for the whole 2 or 3 years that you have. I say because you need to change it at least 2 years. So you're making an investment for that. Okay, well, okay, I do need to get it. I say you do need to get it. You say you hadn't had it a long time. Did you take it with your phone? Well, yeah. I say, oh Lord, we really need you. And then I tell people, if you don't hire me, at least hire a professional to do a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, okay, well, where do I pay? Go to my website because it's right there. It says, click book Marshall headshots and pay. And it works every time. And they usually get more. I mean, a headshot, and I give them 2. And I say, you know what? I'm gonna give you 2 headshots for that. I'm gonna do a head and shoulder, and I'm gonna do a 2/3. Because what if you want it for more than just your LinkedIn? What if you write something or you need it for a press release? Are you gonna speak? Yeah, that's right. I coach people into the value over the price. Now, some people they only are looking for price. I don't care how much I tell them, they're not gonna pay 1,800 for the wig. They just only, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So
Yeah.
you gotta give the value.
Got it. Got it.
And you can do it on the website with words. Words matter. With statements, with benefits, with this is how the product helps you, with testimonials, all of that on the website before getting to the price.
Okay. Good. Great advice. Great advice. Next question. I just opened my business Facebook and Instagram pages. How can I get followers quickly that are interested in my product, which are bags and hats for women?
Oh, I like bags and
I'm
hats.
already
Oh
interested,
my God,
actually.
I like bags and hats. I never a summer hat. I like bags and hats. My husband wouldn't agree. I got like 50 bags in the closet. That's a great question. Don't forget we talked about the 4-step journey. I don't know if you remember that in the slide, but the customer journey. And I think I also have it. Now, followers are nice, but they won't bring money to the bank. Okay. With your bags and hats and your new, I'm excited for you with your new social sites. You have to start showing up first, and followers might just like and comment, but you got to lead them to somewhere to purchase. So you can't do it quickly. I will tell you that. So the first thing is to show up, which is great. You're on LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever she said. Secondly, your content is going to do that. So whatever you're posting, you're 2 to 3 days a week, and then you're commenting. Let's say you get 10 followers. Then I tell people focus on those instead of trying to get so many more, because it's not about followers. So focus on those 10 and nurture those 10. Go like their stuff. Comment. Thank you for becoming a follower. Comment like those 10. You have to make sure you're building relationship with those 10. Then you get 2 more. Celebrate the small wins. It's not fast. Then you get 5 more, or some days you get none. That's okay. Go and nurture those. And so that's how you build it, through your content and your engagement. And so your content needs to come from those buckets that I showed in the slideshow. And I also have it on my site. Your content is going to cause you to get more followers. Now, I can't stress this enough. Doing video, that's going to really put it on steroid. So let's say you put on one of your hats, and Judy and I saw your video. We want a hat. And you put on one of your hats and you did a video, and you sat in front of your window or door, because all you need is a window light coming in, and you picked up your phone and you made a video. And the video needs to be not about just the hat or how much it is. It needs to be how it's going to make us look good, how it goes with our summer outfit. You're going on a trip, this is a great, so it needs to be something that engages us before buying. So if I think, wow, that's a great hat, I'm going to New Orleans on for vacation in a few weeks. I was like, oh, that's a great hat for my trip. That's going to make me more inclined to buy it. We need to feel like what you're selling is going to help me, make me feel better, look better, or something. But then sometimes you may come on and you're not going to talk about your product. You're not going to talk about your hat or your bag. You're a fashion person. If you're selling hats and bags, you're a fashion person. So you may come on one day and give summer fashion tips. Or you may come on one day and post from the about bucket about why you said it's new. Why did you start it? I love watching that or reading that. I started my business last month, and I'm so excited about selling my hats and bags. And what made me actually want to start this, I've been thinking about it for we love that. We love stories. People, women and men, we love stories. Men love movies. Those are stories. So telling a story, this is going to help you to get followers. The content is going to help you to get followers, and it needs to be from those buckets, not just promoting hats and bags. Then we get to this stage where we're interested more. We may go to your website, we may check out a hat. Then we get to the stage where we buy it because it fits into our lives. I was working with an artist, and she goes, well, how will my stuff fit into people's lives? I said, we want our walls to be beautiful. We want our home to be beautiful. We want your art to beautify our walls. You have to convince me that your piece of art is going to look good over the fireplace. This piece of art is going to be beautiful in my bedroom. It's all about making us feel like, how is this going to make me better, my life better? So that's how you're going to get followed. But don't get hooked up in followers. All they're going to do is like and comment. You want people to bring money to the bank. You want to turn followers into customers, and that's through that customer journey. You have to lead them by showing up to the site and to contact you. You got to get that opt-in, because you got to email them. Okay, you got to email them and stay on top of mind. Sephora emails me, Olay emails me, Macy's emails me. All these people sell products that women want. You got to email, stay on top of mind. Kirkland emailed me, Marshall emailed me. You have to stay on top of mind. So that's how you're gonna build up that business. That's really great that you're starting that. Put that. Who is that in the chat? You should email me. Who?
Yeah, Melissa.
Oh,
Melissa Chase.
oh, Melissa. Oh, my bank, Chase. Do you work for Chase? Well, they can help you, but you should email me because I can send you a lot of good information on getting your business started, getting followers. I have a lot of information on my site. I can show you where to go get that.
Great. She will email you.
Yeah, it's my email on here. It's on my website for sure, but it's MarshaHudsonTraining@gmail. But you can definitely find my email from my website. Be sure and email me because I can give you a lot of great information on I even have a free course on getting your business started. That's very exciting.
Great. Well, Marsha, thank you so much for helping us with that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen
Okay.
now. And let's see. Okay. This is such valuable information. I mean, this is the way of the future is social media. So thank you so much. And I want to share with you all what we have coming up. It's always changing, so be sure and check. Tomorrow we have how to be a good teammate and a good person. Lorna Kibbe continues her professionalism series, so be sure and register for that. Next week, next Tuesday and Wednesday, we have big times. Marsha's back next week, the 12 musts of a website that converts. She mentioned that in her presentation. And then we have Rebecca Schultz, our financial guru, coming back, Money Habits of Successful Entrepreneurs. This will be a good one. Then we have Lorna back for more of her professionalism series, The Key to Success, How to Get Along with People, All People. I definitely need to get that one, get registered for that one. And then Marsha's back at the beginning of August. Oh my gosh, did I just say the beginning of August? Networking online and offline beyond the pandemic. That'll be great. You can visit our website to register, www.sbdc.nctc.edu, or you can actually use our QR code up at the top right-hand corner that will take you right there to our website. You can go there, you can register for any of these webinars, you can get contact information, you can schedule an appointment with an advisor or find other resources for small business owners. We'd like to thank our benefactors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to provide these webinars and other tools that you at no cost. The Small Business Administration, the State of Texas, North Texas SBDC Regional Office in Dallas, and North Central Texas College. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for staying with us, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much. This will end the webinar.
Thank you, guys. Have a great